the need for housing and the landlords willing to provide that housing, there's a huge gap. So here, that's what our target demographic is, getting those people with less resources in, getting them housed, and not only getting them housed, but keeping them housed. Hi, my name is Kierra Gilbert, and I am the property manager of Island Village Apartments, which is a 281-unit complex in East Village, San Diego. I want to say 75 to 80% of our property is LEAP applicants. Another 10% have been here longer than 5 years. So the longevity with the tenants are here as well. Once I have a vacant available, I reach out to LEAP and I let them know I have a unit vacant if they have any qualified LEAP applicants. They then come and inspect the unit the very next day or the day after, and if it passes, then they send me applicants to see if they meet our criteria as well. What we do is we do a move-in interview with every applicant from LEAP, and that's where they sit there and we hear their stories and we hear their struggles and what it took to get there. And the stories that I like the most is when they say, I was just sitting outside my tent and the guy came from Housing Commission and asked me if I was okay. And it was a LEAP representative. So I know they go out and they do actually outreach on the street, some of them. And that to me is gratifying because then they're like, oh, this person actually does care and I'm not just a number on the street. So the relationships are different because you start in the beginning with the LEAP representative, from where they have nothing and they go through this process. It's just the application, and like I said, then we do a move-in interview together, and by the time they move it in, it's like their family. They're not just another person, because we spend so much time helping them and educating them about housing. Well, it was very gratifying because you see someone come in, either with no hope or little hope, and it's like one step at a time, and then they move in and they're scared. Honestly, they're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to act, I haven't had an apartment in a very long time. And then little by little you see them take pride in not only their home, but in themselves. I would tell other landlords, go for it. It works. You have the support you need. 9 times out of 10, you're not just dealing with one specialist at LEAP, you're dealing with multiple, with one applicant. So you have the support, you have the guarantees in writing, you have the contracts. So I would do it just because if the applicants that they send you are already screened, they already went through a rigorous process and they're ready for housing. They just need a house or an apartment to call their own.
I had gone into the VA hospital for treatment for alcohol and drugs, and my life was basically pretty detonated, which is where that travel usually takes us. And they had offered me a VASH housing contract, which surprised me. And I'll tell you one of the beautiful things about living here and the beautiful things about HUD is I came in and checked probably almost every wrong box a person could to normally rent an apartment. And they still gave me an apartment. And I share that story today. I was so blessed, it was unbelievable. I never looked back. I've stayed sober ever since. It's a good feeling to have a place to live when it seems impossible. And I think for a lot of people starting off, it's overwhelming. That's another one of the big gifts here, is that stability, that feeling of self-worth, that feeling of encouragement. And it's all the little goals. When I bought my first dishes, when I bought my first comforter, just little things. My first groceries. Wow, it was awesome. If it wasn't for the LEAP program, and I can tell you quite honestly, factually, there were just in this neighborhood, there would be hundreds of people who probably would not be able to find adequate housing. And most people I know are very, very grateful for that. At my age right now, I'm living the good years of my life. And I can't begin to tell you sometimes how overwhelming that is when I think about how blessed I really am. And so it's just been pretty amazing.